Well, hello, welcome back.
Hello.
Um, so before we go over the agenda for today, I just wanted to check in about our homework and how things have been going. Is there anything that you want to talk about since the last time we met?
Um, I think things are going better. My son can sense there's a weirdness between, us, but I think we're on the road to being better at communicating and talking and staying in touch. Or at least I feel I am.
Is that something that you would like to explore on today's agenda?
Uh, no, because I don't really have a plan for that as far as how that would look. Um, I don't know if I'd have to move or if they would consider coming back or, I don't know. I haven't even mentioned it because we're in such a tumultuous relationship right now that I can't even bring stuff up without a
Uh,
so
All right. Well, then let's go ahead and go over your homework from last time, if that's something that you want to delve into, or would you like to explore anything else first before we move into that?
oh no, we can jump into the homework.
Okay, great. So, do you have your behavioral experiment plan that we had
Yes,
last
I
time?
have my little worksheet.
Okay, great. So, I think we could just go over it one by one, and maybe I'll go and I'll ask you the question, and then you write or you say what you wrote, and then we'll discuss it a little bit. Is that okay? You like that?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So the first question was, what belief are we testing? So, what belief was it that you chose to test? And this is something we did last week, but I just want to go over what you learned from it, and so we'll do it like this.
Um, the belief that my family doesn't love me.
Mhm. And
Well, one side of my family doesn't love me.
so, okay, so what was the experiment that we talked about last week that you tried, and just go ahead and tell me what happened there, or what you tried.
Okay. So the first experiment was calling my mom. That wasn't really what we talked about, but I
Mhm.
felt I needed to do. It went okay. She played oblivious. But the second experiment was I went to a Black storytelling event, and I actually talked to several people after. Um, Maybe they knew I was biracial because my hair's curly. Maybe they knew that, so I kind of got a pass. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I actually had a good time. It made me feel like um I could be somewhere and not be an outcast. Um and it was actually a story about it was a Black history story about an inventor I had never heard of. So it was really interesting. And I plan to do more of that, even if it's not your recommendation, even if we're not continuing like my homework or whatever, I want
Mhm.
to be more involved.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad that like going to this event actually helped you see that you like going to events because
Hmm.
do you remember what it was? Like the third question that we're gonna go through, do you remember what you predicted would happen if you went to this event?
Yeah, that they'd see me as fake because I look white and they probably, especially if I don't wear my hair out, if like I put it in a bun or something, they really wouldn't know. And they'd be like, what is this girl doing at the Black storytelling event, But I also felt I did feel awkward though in the beginning because I didn't know how to present myself,
Yeah,
and so but
you
I
got out
figured
there
out
with
what
me.
to
So,
say. Yeah, I thought I wouldn't know what to say, but I figured that out, and just kind of had a good time and just, I was the person I want to be able to be
mhm.
when I'm around my family.
Okay, yeah, well, that's great. That's great that you had such a great experience. And let's see. So how could you tell then that your prediction of what you predicted last time? Because what I wrote down here is that you said people will see me as fake or I will feel awkward and not know what to say. Um, so how do you know if those beliefs were true or false? Did you, in the long run, feel awkward and or fake?
No, I didn't feel fake because I said, I let my hair out.
Mm,
So I think they knew something was going on, some kind of mixed race. I don't know if they know what race, but
mm,
um I didn't feel fake at all. I felt that I was being my true authentic self. But I did feel awkward in the beginning because I was, I'm so used to being not accepted that I felt they're not going to accept me. I pushed their my experience onto people I didn't even know.
right.
So that's how I felt. But it didn't end up working out that way.
That's great. So what I'm hearing is that like number five, what actually happened is that you had a great time and you
Yes, I
and you
did.
want to continue doing this. That's awesome.
Yes, I was nervous in the beginning. But it all worked out, nobody was judgmental. Um and I didn't feel like I didn't belong. Nobody said like, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing here?" Even though I had internalized that feeling for so long, I was thinking that for to myself. I didn't see any side eyes like, "Oh," or it didn't appear that way, any whispering in the gallery like, "Oh my gosh, look at it." So um I had a good time. It was a wonderful experience. I thank you for that homework assignment.
Right. So it sounds like then you learned that like your fear was unfounded, right? And that you
Hmm.
actually want to continue this. That's great. So in the future, what do you have anything else planned to do since
I
you
haven't like Googled the next poetry reading, but there is something that my city has that's called Stockton Black Family Day. So
Mhm.
I think I might try that. I don't know how it looks, but we'll see. I'm gonna venture out and
That's
just
great.
dive out into it and it's funny because there are people who are clearly only Caucasian or only another race and they're there. So
Uh,
I'm like, if they can do it, I for sure can do it.
right.
It's just because of the way my family has treated me, that's, I've made that how I feel. I've internalized that and I need to get over that.
Are you thinking that maybe someday you'll bring your son? Is that something you want to incorporate into your family as like a generational thing, knowing your heritage and that's something you want?
He, um, I might have to ease him into it too, because he also knows how uncomfortable I've been, before they moved to the other side of the country. Um, he knows how uncomfortable I've been, so I don't know if he's internalized my feelings, so we'd have to have a discussion.
Hmm. Would you go there and maybe do an event with them there?
Mm, yeah, we'd probably have to start off at like something real low key. I wouldn't take him to a Black Family Day, not yet.
Okay.
But, maybe something where there might be, or maybe go to a church or something. I don't know. I'd have to put it together and see how he feels. Because he's old enough to be able to tell me how he feels. So we'd have to have that discussion. And then I don't want dad going berserk,
Yeah.
if I come out there and we do something together. So,
Okay. Well, I mean, it sounds like this was a very good activity for you. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about or add to next week's agenda, before we
um,
up?
how about let's revisit my son? I'm gonna call him this week.
Okay.
So, and we might have that discussion, um, before I actually fly somewhere and then, yeah, and then it's all bad. So
Yeah.
we might have that discussion this week. So maybe that'll be something to talk about next
All right.
session.
I think that's a great idea, and it might be really bonding to be able to bond with your son who's family over your culture that you've typically felt, you know, ostracized from. So maybe you
Mm-hmm.
build that sense of community with your son, and that would be really great if that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Okay, well, it was great seeing you, like always. Can't can't wait to see you next week.
I know this will be that'll be an interesting session. We'll see what
I
happens.
know, I know. Let's see what the sun says.
I know, right?
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, have a good day.
Okay, thank you so much.